Welcome to We Talk Money. I'm your host, Robert Geniak, author of the international bestseller on personal finance, Rich is a State of Mind. In today's episode, we're going to revisit a couple of key learnings from earlier in the season. In our first clip, insolvency trustee Rebecca Martin shares with us the differences between a consumer proposal and a bankruptcy. A little bit confused. What's the difference between a consumer proposal and a bankruptcy?
Two big components. One is that in a bankruptcy I mentioned before that you could lose some of your assets. Okay. In a consumer proposal, you maintain total control of your assets. And you're basically making a deal with your creditors over time. So your income fluctuation doesn't matter. You basically offer them a settlement. So let me give you a couple examples. I'm totally making up the names. So Joe came to see me, $36,000 credit card debt, okay. Ran into difficulty when he lost his job. We helped to negotiate a consumer proposal between him and his creditors to settle that $36,000 for $18,000.
Okay. Now, when I do that, and I get it, if I'm a creditor to you, I'm getting less money than I'm actually owed. But are there assets that we can have that are kind of creditor proof as part of either a proposal or a bankruptcy?
Yes, so there are government regulations. And so essentially, clothing you can keep, furniture you can keep. You can have a car that you own as long as it's worth less than $6,600. Okay. Equity in your house as long as it's less than $10,000. So the difference between what it could sell for and what you owe, okay. You can keep that. Most RRSPs, except for contributions in the last year, most life insurance. So really there is a lot you get to keep.
So if you did own a home, can they force you to sell your home?
No, they cannot.
They cannot force you to sell your home. Well, that's good. Now, how do I decide whether I want to do a proposal or a bankruptcy if I'm the person trying to make the decision? Or is that something you and I in conversation go through? What is the best way for you as an individual?
That's exactly it. I help you with that. So I'll review the pros and cons of a bankruptcy, pros and cons of consumer proposal, and then I help you figure out what's the best method for you and your family.
My guess is if I were in this situation, I'm probably a little bit scared. I'm worried about the future. I don't know where I'm headed financially. How do we begin this conversation?
Well, when people come to see me, excuse me, they're stressed. Maybe they're getting phone calls, they're getting their wages garnished, they're not sleeping at night, phone calls ringing off the collection agency. So the first thing is pick up the phone and you call. We'll talk, we'll figure out, can we help? What can we do to help? And let's just arrange a time to get you debt-free.
And I'm assuming that if I pick up the phone and give you that call, there's no obligation. You're willing to sit down and have a quick chat with me, sort out the details, and help alleviate the stress a little bit?
Exactly. No obligation, no charge. Information's free.
The decisions surrounding consumer proposals and bankruptcies are emotional and difficult. And if you're facing something like that, I always suggest that you seek out professional help from someone like Rebecca. Now, in order not to have to meet her at all, one of the best things you can do is get a better handle on the money that you already have. And in our next clip, certified cash flow specialist Valentin Bradu is going to teach us how to do that. Finance. I've always said that behavior is way more important than mathematics. So people tell me all the time, I suck at math, I'll never be good at personal finance. No, it's about behavior. How does cash flow play into that?
Well, we call what we do a behavioral cash flow plan. Okay. Because it's just like the old adage, you give a fish to someone, you feed them for a day. Okay. What we do is we actually teach our customers how to fish. So we create a written plan based on their short-term and long-term goals, and we literally find them money. If they stick to the cash flow plan that we designed based on their input, then they will be able to achieve those goals, short-term and long-term, and then be able to continue that process for the rest of their lives.
When it comes to budgeting, what tends to happen is we do a bunch of math and we look at the number at the bottom and say, this is what I have left to save. But it sounds like cash flow is something else entirely.
Yes. Remember from school when we had projects and literally they were done just the night before, a few hours before? Similarly, left unchecked, without a proper cash flow plan, what happens is that spending tends to expand to the size of our checking account or to the size of our income, right? So without the cash flow, that's the danger, and we help people, we teach them how to prevent that from happening to them.
Consumer proposals, bankruptcy, and cash flow planning. Great things to be thinking about as you're enjoying a summer barbecue or perhaps a cold beverage as you're sitting on the beach. This has been a best of episode of We Talk Money. You can catch all of the previous episodes of We Talk Money at we-tv.ca. If you've got an idea for a future episode, or you've got perhaps a question you'd like us to answer on the show, drop us a line at info@we-tv.ca. And until next time, thank you for watching.